Good afternoon, family. Good evening, wherever you may be tuning in from. This is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. Hope y'all are having a blessed and wonderful day. Today is Tuesday, now the second day of the work week, so to speak. So I hope everyone is doing well. Hope you're able to enjoy some vitamin D, get some sunlight. It's still warm in many parts of the country. It's cool down out here in the Bay Area, but it's still sunny out, so I was able to get some vitamin D. Hope you all were too. Hope you're getting it like in the early parts of the day and the latter parts of the evening, where the temperatures are a little cooler. Latter part of the day, I should say. But as always, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated, and if you do not have to go out in those um, extreme temperatures, do not go out. Do not just stay safe and stay cool. But make sure you get some vitamin D, some sunlight early in the day or later in the afternoon when it's a little cooler. In the likelihood that you're having a rough day, always remember this. Tough times don't last, tough people do. Keep your hope, trust, and faith in Allah God, and He will see you through. I could definitely bear witness to that. So, getting into the topic for this video, Donald Trump named J.D. Vance, junior senator from the state of Ohio, as his running mate. He was nominated as the vice president pick from for the Republican Party. So the ticket is going to be Trump Vance. That was, I think, Vance said it was kind of last minute. A lot of people thought that Trump was going to name Tim Scott his VP. I knew he wasn't. I think Tim Scott knew he wasn't too, because he looks like Bucky from Fat Albert. He does. He looks like Bucky from Fat Albert. But Tim Scott, he's the mouthpiece for right wing extremists. He's their mouthpiece because the stuff that they can't say in public, he says it for them. Like yesterday in Milwaukee, he said that America is not a racist country. This coon actually said that. Tim Scott from South Carolina. America's not a racist country. America is not a racist country. It's not racist. It's not a racist country. That's my Tim Scott impersonation. It's not a racist country. It's not racist. Nuh-uh. It's not a racist country. It's like, dude, you're from South Carolina. South Carolina was a Jim Crow state. Your parents and grandparents suffered under Jim Crow. For you to say that is asinine. And I know that you don't believe that, and no black person in their right mind can say that America is not a racist country. Unless they must be getting paid. And Tim Scott is getting a payday because someone is paying this fool to say that. Someone's got to be paying him. He's a puppet. Someone has their hand up his ass, through his back, and they pulling his strings to say that bullshit. Excuse me for cussing, but it's just ridiculous. Someone is pulling his string. Hey, Tim Scott, I need you to say that America is not a racist country. That racism. That you don't know that there's no such thing as racism. Okay, I say it. America isn't a racist country. It's not a racist country at all. It's not racist at all. Did I do good, Master? Did I do good? I did good, huh, Master? Yeah, boy, you did good. Here's your butter biscuits. Here's your little your silver and gold. Thank you for selling your people out. Now go fix your teeth, or go do something with your mouth. You're showing too much teeth, boy. We want you to show a little bit of teeth, but not too much. You look goofy. Go do something about that, boy. Unbelievable. So I knew he wasn't going to be Trump's VP pick. He knew it too. He did. And let's be honest, Trump wasn't going to pick a black man. Well, what appears to be a black man, a coconut, black on the brown on the inside, brown on the outside, white on the inside. He wasn't going to pick a coconut. Brown on the outside, white on the inside. Lily white on the inside. And Tim Scott knew that. We all knew that. But JD Vance from I believe Middletown, Ohio, his his grandparents and parents are from Kentucky in the Appalachian Mountains of Kentucky. So he has humble beginnings. He grew up poor, or lower middle class, whatever you want to call it. Grew up in Appalachia, Middletown, Kentucky. It's in southwestern Ohio, down by, I think, southwestern Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. That's near Kentucky. Yeah, near the Kentucky area there. That's where his family's from. That part of Ohio is where he grew up. He had a book called Hillbilly Elegy about his time growing up in Appalachia, and how his mom suffered suffered abuse. I think from her third husband. I believe that's correct. His mom's third husband raised him, and things weren't good in the home. What so have you? His father and mother divorced when he was a toddler, and yeah, his mom married third husband. She helped raise him, and he helped raise him. And how his grandparents played an important part in his life. He joined the military. He's a Marine. He served in the second Gulf War, in the Iraq War. So I thank him for his service. Thank him, for serving this nation. He served in the Iraq War. Believe his time in the Marines were from 2003 to 2007. So he did a 4-year stint, and my hats off to him for that. He is 39 years old. I think he turns 40 this year. Let me see. One second. Before I continue on, hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications of new videos on here. So he's 39 years old, young man. He's a millennial. Wow. So first time a millennial would be that high up in office. There are millennials in the government, in the federal government, but at that far high up as vice president, that'll be a first. And kudos for him for that. Now getting into yeah, so he turns 40 in 3 weeks. August 2nd, he'd be 40 years old. Born August 2nd, 1984. So he's a young man, 8 years younger than I am. Hmm. Let's see here. About Mr. Vance. So he's a is an American author, I should say, a venture capitalist, a lawyer. I mentioned he was a Marine, a former Marine, but like my dad told me, once a Marine, always a Marine. So served his country in the Marines. Junior U.S. Senator from Ohio, and he's a Republican, of course. So I want to get into his policies. Oh, also, I must say this here. A while back, Vance said that he compared Trump to Hitler. I know a lot of people have been talking about that on social media. That yeah, how can he, accept Trump's VP to be Trump's running mate when he called the man Hitler? Well, if y'all remember correctly, and if y'all just brief history, back in 2020, Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist. She called Jim Crow Joe a racist. Next thing you know, she's Biden's accepting his invitation to be his running mate. So if it's okay for the Democrats, it's okay for the Republicans. Just so sick of the hypocrisy. And I saw something from D.L. Hughley, that Sambo ass clown. Well, it's hypocritical that, J.D. Vance would accept Trump's um, invitation to, accept him to be his running mate when he called a man a Hitler. Like I said, Kamala Harris called Joe Biden a racist. Do y'all remember that back in 2020? Next thing you know, she accepted his nod to be his running mate on her 2020 ticket, and she became the VP. No one said a uttering word about that. So why say anything about this? Oh, that's right. Trump is the boogeyman. Trump is the bad guy. So whatever Trump does or says is bad. Whatever Biden does or says is good. And we're getting into, like I said yesterday, black people, we're getting into this thing. My white man is better than your white man. If you don't agree with me, the hell with you. It's Willie Lynch. It's a blueprint from Willie Lynch. This division, red versus blue. I'm not talking blood versus Crip. I'm talking Republican versus Democrat. It's ridiculous. My white man is better than your white man when they both are devils. They both are devils. It's like sheep argue over who is better, the wolf or the lion, when they both want to devour you. It is what it is. It's insanity. But moving along. So Vance, he supported the U.S. Supreme Court overturning of Roe v. Wade. Supported it. He said he might support a federal ban on abortions after 15 weeks, like Norway's and Denmark's 12 weeks and Sweden's 18 weeks. He said more recently, he said that abortion laws should be set by the states. And I agree with that. And that's here in the 10th Amendment. The 10th Amendment states that. Again, the Bill of Rights. The 10th Amendment states that the federal government should not have a say in abortion. From a moral issue, me personally, I know there may be some of y'all who disagree, but from a moral position, I disagree with abortion. I do. I just murdering babies just doesn't sit well with me. Or more murdering unborn fetuses, unborn children just doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't. It doesn't. That's me morally. Now, in the case of rape or incest or medical emergencies, then I could kind of see why a woman would have an abortion in those cases, those extreme cases. Again, it doesn't sit well with me. I'm not saying that, you know, I'm all for abortion because I'm not. Again, morally, I disagree with it. But in the case of rape or incest or medical emergencies, I could have empathy for the person. Have empathy. Say, you know what? Okay, I can understand it. Abortion don't sit well with me. It's a conundrum. That's a tough topic. That is a conundrum. It is a conundrum. But I will say this: I don't believe the federal government should have a say in what a woman should do with her body because we know the federal government doesn't solve problems; it create more problems. and they create more problems than the ones that they solve. The federal government doesn't solve problems, they create them. That's why it should be left up to the states. Whatever state that the individual lives in, they should set the law for that. It should be states' rights. Leave it up to the states. If abortion is illegal in Ohio, but legal in Michigan, go to Michigan and have your abortion. Again, I don't agree with it from a moral standpoint. I do not agree with abortion. Let me be clear on that. But from a state standpoint, from the states' rights, the 10th Amendment, the Bill of Rights here, then it makes sense in that aspect. If Illinois allows it, but Wisconsin don't, people from Wisconsin go down to Illinois. California allows it, but Oregon doesn't. People from Oregon come down to California. If you feel that you want to abort your baby, if you're that strongly about it, make the trip to another state and do that. That's your decision. That's something that this person has to live with. That decision. Again, and I cannot be clear on this. Ryan Jackson, personally, I don't agree with I don't agree with abortion. That's my moral stance on it. That's me. Again, many of y'all may disagree, and that's fine. We just have to agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And there's people in my family I've had this discussion with. People I respect, I love and respect in my family who I had this discussion with, and they agree with abortion. I don't. But again, we just agree to disagree without being disagreeable. Still love and respect them. We just don't see eye to eye on that. And that's fine. That's fine. We have to learn to do that. Now, going back to Vance, um, in September 2021, when asked whether abortion laws should include exceptions for rape and incest, Vance said, two wrongs, do- two wrongs don't make a right. A month later, he said, there's something comparable between abortion and slavery. They love to put out slavery. They love to compare slavery to everything. Funny, huh? Funny how that happens. They don't want to give us reparations for slavery, but they want to compare everything to slavery. Funny. There's something comparable between abortion and slavery, and that while the people who obviously suffer the most are those subjected to it, I think it has this morally distorting effect on the entire society. Yet in the 2022 debate, Vance said, I've always believed in reasonable exceptions. Later, he specified that he supported exceptions for rape, incest, and preserving a mother's life. So he flip flopped, which is what politicians do. Not surprising. Let's see here. I saw something about him that. So he's considered a maverick, it says here, from Republic from Republican orthodoxy on economics, supporting increases for certain taxes on university endowments and corporate mergers, and for the minimum wage, unionization, tariffs, and antitrust policy, and has opposed continued American military aid to Ukraine during the ongoing Russian invasion. And I agree with them 1,000% on that. I agree with them on that because we're in these proxy wars. We're giving billions upon billions of dollars to Ukraine in their fight against Russia. We're giving billions of dollars to Israel fighting Hamas. We're giving the money to Taiwan in the defense, in the Indo-Pacific defense, which is against China. Three proxy wars. Three. Don't agree with them. And I've made that clear on this channel. Excuse me. See here. Vance opposes Respect for Marriage Act, which recognized same-sex marriage. This is what I wanted to find. At the federal level, he said, I believe that marriage is between one man and one woman. But I don't think the gay marriage issue is alive right now. I'm not one of these guys who's looking to try to take people's families and rip them apart. Vance proposed a bill that would make gender affirming care for minors a federal felony and block taxpayer funds for being used for it. Right on. Don't have an issue with that. Under no circumstances should doctors be allowed to perform these gruesome, irreversible operations on underage children. Right on. This is what Vance has said. He's for the nuclear family, which is something that I'm for too, being that I grew up with a mother and father. Of course, for a couple of years there, about 2.5 years, I didn't have a man in my life because my my father had passed, but my mom remarried. But with the exception of those 2.5 years, I always had a father in my life, a father coming up, showing me how to be a man. So I grew up in a nuclear family. Father, mother, children. Father's the head of the household, mother is the matriarch, the homemaker. I grew up like that. Many of those who I grew up like that as well. There's not a problem with that. Stop letting the media and society fool you, black people, to tell you that the nuclear family is a problem. Notice they always tell black people this. It's people outside of our community telling us that there's an issue with the nuclear family, that the black father is a tyrant. They paint him as some kind of evil villain. That is not the case. Black boys need positive black men in their lives. Black fathers, uncles, older cousins, OGs in the neighborhood who are doing positive things. We love to say it takes a village to raise a child. We love to throw that out there. Damn it, why don't we act like it? Why don't we act like it? Stop letting the media distort the black father. The black father is needed in the household. A positive grandfathers. I'll be remiss. Grandfathers, even fathers, uncles, older cousins, grandfathers, deacons, brothers from the NOI. Good, upstanding black men in these neighborhoods. There are still a lot of them. They don't get a lot to say. You don't hear a lot about it, but there's still a lot out there. They could be a role model, be father figures to those who may not have fathers. Stop letting the media distort the black man as some kind of scary boogeyman because it's dividing division between us. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications on new videos on here. How you doing? Thank you for chiming in, Miss Jeffers. I appreciate it. I'm doing well. Thank you. But yeah, so the that's the problem. The reason why there's so much violence in our communities. So many young men killing each other, killing women, whatever, what's have you. District kids being disrespectful to their parents, the black man being disrespectful to the black woman, the black woman being disrespectful to the black man. All this chaos in our community. The reason for it is because there's a there's a breakdown in the black family. That's why. There's a breakdown in the black family. When we had strong black families, we didn't have these issues. We weren't going around here killing each other, disrespecting our women disrespecting us. We didn't have these issues. Children respected their parents, respected their elders. Yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. What happened to that? The breakdown of the black family, the nuclear black family. So I agree with Mr. Vance on that. I agree with him on them trying to this changing the sex of a young child, underage children. I'm with them on that. I am with them on that because that should be left up to the parents. And actually, why don't you wait? Why you got to try to get children when they 5 and 6? They're not in a their minds haven't developed yet. Their brains haven't developed. They're confused. A child at that age, anything an adult tells them, for the most part, they'll believe it outside of their parents. Why are you confusing these children? You telling a 5 and 6 year old little boy, hey, you know, you could be a little girl. You telling a 5 and 6 year old little girl, hey, you could be a little boy. That is wicked. That should be illegal. That's a criminal offense. And that leads to pedophile behavior. So I agree with Vance on that. I really do. Now, there's some people who don't agree with this pick. You know, I could care either way. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not voting for Biden either. But they say that your running mate is kind of like the opposite of you in a sense. Case in point, when Bill Clinton picked Al Gore to be his running mate back in '92, Al Gore was more liberal than Clinton was. Clinton was a Dixiecrat. He was what they used to call a Dixiecrat. Clinton was very conservative. That's why white evangelicals in the South loved Bill Clinton. They loved him, especially when it came to criminal justice reform. They loved Bill Clinton, loved him because he had the same ideas on criminal justice that Ronald Reagan had. Correct me. I mean, am I right or am I absolutely right? Bill Clinton had the same exact ideas as not only Reagan, but Nixon as well. They shared the same views on criminal justice reform, if you want to call it. So Clinton was a conservative. Yes, he was a Democrat, but he was a conservative Democrat. Joe Biden is a conservative Democrat. Joe Biden is actually an old Dixiecrat. Al Gore is more liberal. Al Gore was talking about climate change in 1994, 95, before even people were even talking about it. He was talking about we need to save the planet in the mid 90s. So Al Gore was ahead of his time. He was more liberal than Bill Clinton. But this guy here, Vance, he's like Trump, just a younger version, and 30 and what, almost 30, almost 40 years younger, almost 40 years younger than Trump. So We shall see. What I will say this, with millennials, I could see why Trump picked Vance for millennials because Vance was born 1984. He turns 40 in what in 3 weeks, in 2 weeks. So I guess with the demographic, the 25 to 40-year-old demographic, a 25 to 35-year-old base, they want to get them into the party, into the Republican Party to vote for Trump. So I guess that's in a way that's why he picked Vance because he's a young man and he can relate to the 25 to 35-year-old base because he's not that far from it himself. So I guess that's why Trump picked him. But like again, we shall see. And last night in Milwaukee, I saw a video of it. Trump had a bandage on his right ear, big old bandage, white bandage on his right ear, and they're gonna milk this cow the best way they know how. I said that on yesterday. From the great words of Wu Tang legend Capadonna, the great Capadonna. They're gonna milk this cow the best way they know how. They're gonna milk Elsie till they can't milk her anymore. And I know some of you will disagree with me on this right here, and that's fine. But this is going to help Trump get into the White House. Could I be wrong? Sure. But I really believe this is going to help Trump get into the White House. That assassination attempt on Saturday is going to help him get into the White House because he's going to play on people's sympathy. They're going to milk that. And now he picked a young man who's about to turn 40 to be his running mate. So he's going to get that younger base into the party because most of the people who vote for Trump are older white men, my age or older, my parents' generation, baby boomers, older, older Americans, middle age and older. But now he'll get that young base. So I could see why he picked Vance. Not gonna vote for Trump Vance. Not gonna vote for Biden Harris. I'm gonna sit this one out. I'm gonna withhold my vote. I don't want the lesser of two evils because guess what? It's still evil. Evil is evil. That's like saying a little white lie. That's a lie. A liar is a lie. There's no such thing as a little white lie. There's no such thing as the lesser of two evils. Evil is evil, and I don't want to vote for evil. So I'm gonna sit this one out respectfully. I'm withholding my vote. Black people, you have that option. Like I said on yesterday, if Trump's your man, you like his policies, by all means vote for Donald Trump. If Joe Biden's your man, you like his policies, you agree with Joe Biden, by all means vote for Joe Biden. But also remember this, you have the option to withhold your vote. They don't want to tell you that because they want to scare you into voting for Joe Biden. They want to paint Trump out to be the boogeyman. He's the scariest politician ever. Oh, he's going to put us back in slavery, put us back in chains. Oh God. Oh God. What are we going to do? Lord have mercy. We got to vote for Joe Biden. That's what they want you to do. But what they won't tell you is that you have the option to withhold your vote. I'm not telling you that you should. Do what's best for you. Don't let no one scare you into voting for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Don't let these people do that to you. And our ancestors did not die for us to have the right to vote. That is a damn lie. Don't buy into that lie. Stop letting these people scare you. You have the option to withhold your vote. Just want to put that out there. Not telling you that you should, not telling you who to vote for. I don't have that right. The right to vote is in the Constitution. So vote for whomever you want to vote for. If you don't like either candidate, withhold your vote. You have that right. You have that right. Hit that thumbs up button, smash that thumbs up button down, hit the subscribe button so you get notifications. I want to do videos on here. On that note, I'm going to hop off of here. Hope you all have a blessed and wonderful day. Please, please, please share this video. Share it, share it, share it. Let's have the conversation. And always, and like I always say, let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable, especially on topics such as this. Let's agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And in our disagreements, let's use logic and respect, not emotion and disrespect. That's all I ask. Support my podcast, support my YouTube channel. Need your love and support, so please continue to support your brother. Sisters as well as brothers, please be safe out here. Beware and be aware. Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy now more than ever. So whether you're going to work, coming home, running errands, wherever the case may be, please be safe. Be safe. Beware and be aware. Even if you're on vacation, really be safe if you're on vacation. You need to beware and be aware while you're on vacation, even more so. So please be safe. I love y'all, and y'all have a blessed and wonderful day. Take care now. I'm out. Assalamu alaikum.